And a good afternoon, everyone. I'm Huey Poplock. This is the Central Florida Computer Society, the Central Florida Computer Society's Windows Special Interest Group, the WinSIG, for Sunday, February 9th, 2020. And we're about to begin. And welcome for all those of you who are at the home location of the meeting, which is the meeting location has changed and it is now at the American Legion for the next 2 months in Fern Park / Castleberry, Florida. And for those of you who are on from around the country, and I don't think any of our Canadian friends have joined us, but if you're on and listening and watching from another country, welcome as well. Each month we have the Windows Special Interest Group, or WinSIG. I do have a website. And let me bring that up. I've got to change it over here. And the meeting notes are always at HEWIE.net, Huey.net, / and then go to the WinSIG, go to the meeting notes for the year, and then you'll find the one for that current meeting. You can go back to any of the previous ones. And in this block down here in the bottom, you'll see the recording. So by tomorrow or Tuesday, on this page, there'll be a copy of the recording of this particular meeting. Okay, today we're going to start out with free resources. This is a website that I found when I attended the Florida, well, actually they changed it now, but it was the Florida Education Technology Conference, and now I believe it's just it's FETC, and it's open to the entire country, not just Florida. But the website that was they were talking about, well, let's go to it and see. If I click here, and I'm going to full screen this. Let's see. We'll minimize this, and we'll full screen this. And this is, it's ITE, or iTeach. It is a website from, I don't know if you can see it up here, but it's at USF, or the University of South Florida. And it's a group there that produces free resources for classroom integration. But if you think of user groups as classrooms, they pretty much are. So I think we fit into this genre or this group. So I don't see a problem with us using any of the material that's there. And it is there for people who are producing either newsletters, PowerPoints, flyers, whatever. And they have a lot of free resources available. Not all of it is usable. You may not be able to use some of it, but some of you can. First, there's a Clipart section. Now, the Clipart isn't the Clipart that you would normally see. It's a lot of it's drawn black and white. But let's take a look at some examples. These are, as I say, they're, so if you want a business and industry, if you're doing a newsletter, you're doing a flyer, you're doing something that you want to have, let's say, some money, banking and financial industry. Let's say this. We can click on it for money. We'll take this one here as a stack of money. And you can get it as a small size, 320 by 239, medium size, 640 by 478, or a very large size, which is a TIFF. It's 2400 by 1793, and that's 1.2 megabytes. And you can download any of those and use them. And you can, I'm not going to go through each one of these because there's thousands of them, but it will give you, this gives you an idea what they are and what the quality they are. Let's go back here a little bit and go back to the main page. I think I'm going to do this a little different on this next one. Okay, then they also have ClickPics, which are royalty-free stock photographs for classroom use. And again, you could use them on your presentations. And let's take a look at those. I'm going to hold this key down so it'll open it in a different tab so I can get back to the beginning. And again, these are grouped by topics, but let's go to, let's see what might be a good one to use. Let's see, let's do food. And you can see there are, again, several choices. And let's go into candy because we're getting close to Valentine's Day. And let's see some hard candy. So let's take this and then click again. And so now you have this Valentine's candy dish, and it gives you all the information about it. And then if you want to save it, just right mouse click on it, save image as. If you're on your phone, on your Chromebook, you can hold your, if you got a touch screen, hold your finger on it. That's a similar box like this will come up, say save image as. When you click it, and then it's going to ask you where you want to save it. And it's a JPEG, and you just click save. Make sure you're watching where it goes. In this case, it would go to downloads and Windows 10 help. That's because that's the last place I saved something. But it'll be, just be careful where you put it so you know where it is. But you'll have that picture then to use in your presentation. They've got some videos, some short videos. They got some VR stuff, some literature, some maps, some presentations, and some technology integration matrices and some other information. So feel free to take a look at what they have and use that information. It's for people like us helping other people, whether it be in a formal teaching setting or in a presentation type setting, or your newsletter for your user group. So I found that to be a really good resource. And again, that is in my meeting notes under free resources. Okay, how to add a ruler to the screen on Windows 10. I remember talking about this at a couple of these Windows SIG meetings, and I went back, and the first version of S Ruler that I showed probably was around 1997. So some of you weren't around, and of course we weren't broadcasting our meetings back then. And then I think I did it again sometime in the early 2000s, might have been as late as 2012. I showed it again, but there was an article about it, and well, I should have done it that way, but we did. There's an article when you click on that, and then if you click where it says download, you'll download a zip file. And okay, that did open it in a different window. So let's take a look at what it is. So let's probably should have taken that picture, but I can have any picture on the screen. So let's bring up, we'll bring this one up, and we'll make it so it's not full screen. And we want to know what size this is. So if we take the ruler, and let's see, I've got it down here, and we'll start it. You just click it. You don't have to install the program. You can put it in any folder, and when you can either make a shortcut on your desktop or just go to that folder, but you can set it whatever you want. You can make it a little bit smaller, bigger, whatever. But let's say we want to see what size this is. We can figure that this, there's a white background on this, so we can't see exactly what the picture is, but it's going to be somewheres. It says down here 17, but that's it full picture. But right now it's showing at around 550. And then if we right mouse click on this, make it vertical, we can measure the other way. And we can say, okay, it's going to be probably around 400. So if we do a screen capture on this, that's about what the size is going to be. Let's see what other settings there are. You can have it so it's, let's say a low, it's so you can see a little bit more. You can make it less opaque. Let's see what else. Pixels, you can have it measure in pixels, centimeters, inches, points, or percent. You can set the length of how long you want the ruler to be. And so there's several things you can set. Again, that just runs in the background. And you can start and stop it. Once you stop it, you'll have to, it's not in your, you haven't installed it. So it is going to be in, you can still run it, but you're going to have to run it from where it is or set a link to it using an icon on your screen or wherever you want to place it. Okay, let's go back to my here, and then now the importance of 5G. And I see Ron Brown is here, and I'm not going to get in much to this. The importance. I'm not going to talk about 5G. I'm going to wait until Ron's video shows up on the APCUG website, and then I'll let at the next meeting I'll tell you exactly where it is. He did a great presentation yesterday on 5G, and he has a better understanding than I do, and neither of us have all of the answers. But let's see, do I have it? Yes, right here. The slides for his presentation is on the APCUG website. And so if you go, here are his slides from yesterday. And Ron, that was an excellent presentation. Thank you for it. And it did give me some better insight of what 5G is. And it actually, it gave me more insight, but more confusion as well, because there's a slow 5G and a fast 5G. And you're going to have it in some areas, you're going to have it from different places and different people. And so it's all very confusing. And Clint is saying also, Ron, that it was an awesome presentation, very informative. So, and he is thanking us as well in the chat boxes. So I'm not going to, this is an article that I have out there. Take a look at it. It might add some, it might even be a help to Ron, I don't know, but I'm not going to spend any more time on 5G today. Okay, the next item is how to find the version number of an app in Windows 10. So let's go to my, oh boy, I got a bunch of things open here. And I closed this one, so we'll open it again. I hope. And it doesn't want to open now. Okay, so I guess either it is or let me, yeah, it is open. That's why. Okay. So what we're going to look at is the how to find the version number of any app. And so we're going to come over here. And as soon as it opens, there we go. How to find the version number of an app on Windows 10. I need to minimize that on my screen. You can't see that. Okay, the app versions are generally not something that users have to be concerned about unless you're having problems or that you may need to update and don't realize it. The app version number, there are multiple ways to find them, and it'll differ for desktop apps and for UWP apps. But if you go to the control panel, and what you'll see is this, but it actually, it actually is not, you're not going to see this right away. And I discovered that this morning and how to get to it. So let's see, I'm going to go ahead and escape out of this. And I'm going to escape out of this. And then what we're going to do is we're come over here to my settings. And I am going to go to apps. And I couldn't find it. Well, what I ended up doing is if I came here and made it a little bit bigger, bingo! Over here is related settings, programs, and features. When I clicked on that, there's the list. There's all the programs I have installed and their version numbers. This is a great list, by the way, to keep a record of. So if your computer should die, you'll know all of the programs that you have installed on it. So there are different ways in which you can save this as a list. I happen to use Snagit, which will scroll down and collect all of that information. But if you don't have, if you're not using Snagit, you might need to do a series of screen captures, or start doing a lot of writing, because I haven't found a way. You can't really. I don't think there's a way to export this list, and I don't think there is a way to copy it. There's just not a way to do it. So I would say probably screen capture, full screen it, and just do a couple of screen captures. But there's all of those. But if you didn't find that, if you come down here and any of these, if you click on, say, I've got a Cronus, it will show the version number under here as well. But you have to do them each individually. So my Acrobat is version 11.0.23. My Photoshop Elements 15 is 15.0. So there is a way to do it, but it's one at a time this way, where with the other list, when I go here and then bring it back up, go to programs and features. And I think you'll find that also is if you open up control panel, you can get to it directly. So that's a good way to know what versions you have. Then when you go, if some program's not working right, that might be the first place to look. What version do you have? And then go to the website and see if that's the latest version. Now, there are other ways to find out. In almost every program in Windows, if you click on Help and go to About, it's going to have somewhere on the screen the version number. Now, this is very small, so I don't know if you can see it as well, but this is 6.22.3.8816 or 308816, and that's the latest version of Evernote. So almost every program that you go into, if you go to the About or the Help and then About, you will find the version number that you have installed. And that article goes into that more as well. Let's see if we still have that up here. No, let's go back to it again. Oh, I know we were doing that in here. So let's go back here. So that's one way that I talked about. The About app page, which I just mentioned as well. And you may see it right away. Let's see, let's click here. And About, every time I click on one of those pictures, it wants to open up a file. Okay. And usually in the end user agreement, it might be, and that screen opens up again. Sorry about that. But you'll see right here is the date and the version number, version 1.1701, but this particular one that they're demonstrating within the article. And there's also a PowerShell. If those of you who are used to using PowerShell, I don't use it, but especially with a UWP app, you can go in and what you'll find, you'll have to do it for each one, but somewhere's in here, it'll have the version and it'll be right here. Okay, so that's how you find version numbers of the programs you have installed on your computer. So what's the next item in our list here? Windows 10 downloads folder, remove grouping and sorting by date. this is something it really bugs me. But a lot of times, okay, here's the article, but let's, I don't like the dark version of things, especially when people put them in an article and demonstrate, because it's very hard to read. But let's take a look at what the downloads folder looks like on my computer. And let's see if we can recreate, because sometimes it comes up this way and sometimes it doesn't. But let's see, here. And when I do it this way, usually the downloads folder is in alphabetical order, which is the way I like it. You can have it in any order you want. But let's see if I can replicate what I don't like. And it only happens usually when you're going to download something. But let's see if it, oops, downloads. No, okay, let's see if we can try to download something. So let's go back to our browser. And let's say we want to, come on. Trying to find a way of doing this. Download folders, and of course, I can't do it from here, but let's, okay, let's see if we can, let's copy the image. See if there's a link somewhere here. Save as. Of course, I'm on a website, but let's, okay, here's something, latest news. I'm going to, there's no way to download it. Okay. Downloads folder, let's see if there's got to be a link here somewhere to download. Anyway, when you do it, what happens is, and I don't know if you can see it here, it does it by date. It'll say today, earlier this month, last month, and so on, and I don't like that. And when it does that, there are some ways to change it, and one of the ways is to go to the view of your, let's see, did I close that up? Looks like I did. But let's go to downloads. Come on. Okay, and then what you look at is view and group by. You want to, it's going to be by date modified, and you want to just turn that off. Because if you have it by date modified, it's going to look like this. And this is the way I was saying, today, last week, last month, and so on. I don't like it like that. So what you need to do is unmodify it. If that doesn't save for the next time, then what you have to do is you have to go into your options and go to your folder options and apply it to all folders with it turned off by date, and that should change it. For some reason or other, sometimes it comes up in the by date format for me, and sometimes it doesn't, even though I've done all of this. So it doesn't always work, but it works more than it did before. So let's, I want to, what's happening is I have a menu that you don't see at the top of my page, and things keep getting in the way of it. So let's go to the next article that we, let's see, got to move this up and come back to here, and the Windows SIG, and 10 best features of the Microsoft Edge Chromium. Okay, as some of you may know, Microsoft has released a new version of their browser called Chromium, Microsoft Edge, and it's their Chromium, based on Chromium or Chrome, as opposed to being their own original browser. Instead of changing their name, they just call it Microsoft Edge. They changed the logo of it. The logo looks different now. But there's a lot of new features in it because they have now picked up all of the features or most of the features that your Chrome browser has. So this came out January 15th. It's supposed to be pushed to you in one of the updates. As of about 4 days ago, I had not received it. You can go to the Microsoft website, Microsoft.com, go to the Edge page, and there is a link there that you can download it and install it. When you do, the old version of Edge will be removed, and the new version will be installed. Now, what's the difference with it? Well, here's some of the features. Number one, the user interface is completely redesigned, and it looks a lot like the legacy version to make it less confusing, but it's more like the Chrome browser. And I'm going to show it to you, and I'm going to show you some things about it here in just a few minutes. And the settings and more menu looks more similar to the legacy version, but many of the options have changed, and it's much more like Chrome. If you've played with any of the settings in Chrome, most of the settings are going to be very similar now in Microsoft Edge. You can have some profiles. I don't use a profile, but you can have them. You can track, there's tracking prevention. You can turn some things on and off for your tracking so you can have more privacy. I haven't gone in and experimented with this. As I say, I've only had it for the last couple of days. And you can also install most of the Google Chrome extensions. And I already have, and I'm going to show you my the main reason when I use a new browser. If I can't use Evernote and the extension for Evernote, I will not use that browser, and it does use the one from Chrome. And then there's some things about the progressive web apps. But let's take a look at what I added to my browser presentation that I did for the SIG, the APCUG VTC, or Virtual Technology Conference yesterday. I added some pages to it, and let's take a look at those. And I also have a video of something I want to show you. So let's full screen this. And this is what the Microsoft Edge looks like. And we'll actually open up my version of it. But it's got a different look to it. This is their new logo. And when you first install it, and it comes up, it says, do you want to import from Google Chrome? So if you're using Chrome and have a lot of bookmarks, they're called bookmarks in Chrome, they're called favorites in Edge, but it's the same thing. But if you want to import items from your Google Chrome, you just click there. If you don't want to, you can say continue without importing. But since I use Chrome as my major browser, I have a lot in there. So this is the second page I got. And you can choose information from your bookmarks, your addresses and more, browsing history, open tabs, save passwords, payment info, and settings. And you can pick and choose which ones you want to import from your Chrome. When you do, you hit apply, and they're there. Now there's one big new advance in Edge is their Edge Immersive Reader. Not all pages have it. I had to go looking for one, but found this article in PC Mag, and it has this icon. If this icon is sitting at the top on your URL in Microsoft Edge, it's called the Immersive Reader. Now, what does it do? Let's go to the next slide, and I am going to show you a video. Okay, here's the video. So at this point, what I'm going to do is we're going to slide down the page. Okay, so this is the page that I'm at PC Magazine. Now I'm going to go up and click the Immersive Reader, which I'm doing here, and you'll see that it really cleans up the article, so there's no menus, there's no other information, there's no ads, and they're all there. There is a read aloud section, a text preference and grammar tools. Let's look at the read aloud.
How to connect your laptop to your TV. Sometimes your laptop screen just isn't big enough. Here are the best ways to move.
Sorry, I hit the mute to do something else here, and what happened was I did a lot of things here. So let's...
music, and games from your PC on your TV.
What do you need to connect your laptop to your TV? If you're like me, you watch a lot of movies and TV shows on your computer.
Computer. It's still the ultimate media machine, capable of playing any file format and outputting to any device with the right cables.
It's also the ultimate video game system, able to...
As you can see, I was changing voices on the fly. It's still going through. Now, there might be some lag because of the way the videos work in Zoom. I'm not sure whether you had that lag or not, but it actually, as it is marking on the article, it's also saying it, and it's very clear, and you can change it. Now, there were many voices there, some of them with foreign, they weren't actually foreign languages. What it is, it's all in English, but it's with foreign accents. So you can choose what language you want. So let me show you an example of what the Edge looks like. How am I doing for time? Okay, well, we got plenty of time here. Good. Let's go ahead, and that's the end of that anyway. And let's go ahead and bring up my Edge, which is there. By the way, Microsoft doesn't like it, but some of the people that I showed in the video last week, Mary and Paul Thurrott and Mary, and I can't think of her last name, from Twit, and this week in Windows, they call it Credge, which is the Chromium Edge, to differentiate it from the old one. But anyway, this is my Credge, or my version of the Microsoft Edge. Notice that some of the things that I use quite often are down here at the bottom. Chrome does the same thing. It picked up all of my favorites. It picked up all of my bookmarks from Chrome and made them favorites in Edge. But if I go to an article, and I had to use PC Mag, my website won't do it, but if it goes to PC Mag, and we can pick a different article from PC Mag, but come on. Okay, and let's just find an article that might be interesting. Best new Windows Mini PCs. Yeah, just an article. And then you'll notice right here is the immersive. If I click it, I mean, it's this easy. And then I can read aloud. I can change the text preferences. I can say, okay, I want bigger size. So I can just go like this and give you a much bigger size. Okay. I can change the spacing. And then there's some grammar tools. I'm not sure. Oh, you can say, okay, I want to show the nouns. I guess I have not played with this. Okay, so it shows which words are nouns. Now, what advantage this would be, I have no clue. Verbs, and we'll close the nouns out. So we're just seeing what the verbs. So it shows me all the verbs and adjectives. Now, I don't have no clue what the benefits would be, and you can show or not show the labels. But the read aloud section is what I like.
The best Windows Mini PCs for 2020. Some are barebones kits. Others are ready to go out.
Okay, and let's pause there and look at the voice options. And then here you can run it slower or you can run it faster. So if it's too slow for you, let's really push it up here. And probably it's going to sound like Minnie Mouse.
Of the box, complete with OS of RAM and memory installed. Whatever the form, these top Windows micro desktops all.
But there may be some times where they talk too fast. Oh, we'll slow it down a little bit.
Deliver surprising features, value, and pep for their size. How to choose the right.
And then you can also, let's go back to normal. And then you can change all of these voices. Now, I don't know if you can read all of these, but let's take Spanish, for instance. This is Helena online.
Right desktop PC. How to find the best Windows Mini PC. The term microcomputer as its origins in the 1970s.
And let's change to another just so you can see how different they can be. Let's take Australian. And voice options. And tell it to go ahead and do it.
1970s. The micro of the personal computers emerging then lay in stark contrast to the rim-size mainframe beasts of the day. But fast forward 40 or so years, and
So as you can see, they're all in English, but they all have various accents. And the default is Jessica Online, and we'll go back to her.
Micro, how you have changed. Indeed, most of the acceleration towards super small in desktop PCs has happened over the.
So you get the idea. So I really like that feature, and you can just have it read to you. And so that's one of the other things in the article. Let's see, let's go back to where the article was here if we can find it. Got so much open here. Progressive web apps, you can now have. Immersive Reader is what I just talked about. There's a PDF viewer now. Although the ability to work with PDF files can be found on most web browsers, the approach Microsoft Edge is a little bit different. To open PDF documents from the web or locally stored on your computer, you can select some text and right-click the selection to find the option to highlight the content, and then you can save or print the document with the highlights. So you can, it's kind of, you can mark up a PDF and save it that way. The dark theme, again, I don't like dark themes. I don't know why people do. I guess some people do. You know, that's why there's Fords and Chevys. But especially to demonstrate things, I don't like the dark theme. Collections, Microsoft Edge Chromium, you get collections, a new feature that allows you to make it easy to collect images, text, videos, and other things. You can drag and drop them from the web into a collection group. I've not played with this, but it sounds intriguing, and I'm going to try to play with this in the next couple of weeks. And then, according to them, there's a better browsing experience, although the company has invested a lot of work to make Microsoft Edge the best browser experience for Windows 10 users. They have rebuilt Edge from the ground up using the Chromium engine from. I got to clear my throat. Hang on. Okay, so they are using Chrome as the basis, and they're going to be adding things to Chrome. So you'll start seeing some things that Microsoft developed show up in the Chrome version of their browser as well. So let's see what else we have in articles. Most of the rest of these deal with Chrome except the last one. So let's go back here and go back to here. Some tips. Oh, when you install Edge, you can go to the Microsoft Edge tips at Microsoft.com, and they have a whole bunch of things. And I may take a couple of these and use them, but okay, they have a new look. Let's take a look here. And so they've got some slides, and so there's a lot of help to understand what some of the changes and differences are. Whoops, and come back here. And there's also tips and tweaks. There's another article that I have for Edge. Tinkering with the new Edge, downloading and installing. So there's some interesting items in this. Add user profiles. So you can have different users and different profiles that will have different bookmarks or favorites, as they call them in Edge. And same thing with the passwords. Now, manage saved passwords. Now, I'm not sure if some of you have seen my presentation on browsers. Let's see, there's a couple of things in the chat box. Mary Foley, yeah, that was, thank you, Ron. And Clint, it was an awesome, okay, so we got that. So let's see now, where was I going? I was going to, I lost my train of thought because I wanted to look at the, let's see, where was I going with this? Let's go back to the article, and then I'll be able, oh, I know, on the passwords. Okay, so I have to minimize here and move this up here. I have things in the way is what the problem is. And this has got to come up. Now I can see my notes. And for the browser, and I thought I had it down here, and I don't. Okay, never mind. That didn't work. Plans are led, but I thought I took those out of my, but let's go ahead and show you here. Let's see, I can do it from Edge here. I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go to Settings, and you'll see passwords here, and all of the different programs, and what my password is. If I clicked here, it's not going to let me just show it to you. It's going to ask for my login to Windows, but because I tested it earlier, it may remember that, and so I don't want to do it because it may show my password. But
Huey?
yes.
Huey? We're seeing a meeting topic, CFCS WinSIG meeting screen. You're changed, and we're not seeing the changes.
Okay. And your voice was sliding too. So let's see if I can get back to where I'm supposed to be here. I can't minimize. I think I lost my share is what happened. Yeah, I lost my screen share. Sorry about that. There we go. And do that and do that. Now you should see. You see something different now?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Yep, I unshared for whatever reason. I clicked on something. So I'm not sure where I lost you. Probably when I was showing you in Edge, let's go back to Edge, the passwords. And these are my various accounts, and then my passwords. And if I clicked on one of these, it would open up and show me what my password is. And I think I mentioned that either at my last meeting or in a presentation I did. So I can't show you more than that. Did I just shut it off again? No, we're still sharing. Okay. All right, so let's see where I am. I think I'm at, let's see how we're doing for time. We got a little bit of time, so let me go to this item here. And we're actually doing this online, so I'm going to close that. Whoops, I shouldn't have done that, but no, that's fine. And let's go to here. And I'm going to open it locally instead of doing it online. I noticed that APCUG posted this same link to this same guide, and there is a link to it on my page, and it's called a Quick Start Guide to Windows 10. If you're an experienced Windows 10 person, that doesn't mean you shouldn't look at this and go through it. I'm starting to notice a lot of things that I didn't realize, or I wasn't sure on how or why I was doing something. And what this did was to help me with that. I don't need this to the side, so we'll do this. So let's go to the first page. The table of contents, understanding your desktop, setup and personalization, apps and programs, tips and tricks, security, privacy, and scam protection, accessibility, Windows updates and upgrades, and additional resources are what's included in this 32-page guide. We're here to guide you. Welcome to Windows 10. Let's get started. So let's go to the next page. Here, it's 32 pages, but on these 32 pages are videos that explain a lot of things. When you open your new Windows computer, you might be surprised. Windows 10 may look a bit different, especially those of you who've been on Windows 7 and have just moved to Windows 10. We listened to our users, according to Microsoft, and created a desktop for everyday home use, work and play, whether you're using a computer, laptop, or a tablet device. Okay, so there are some videos here. Let's see an example of one of them. Okay, we're going to allow it. It's got to go out and get it. And load the video, I hope. Let's go in the other direction now, so we're getting there. Oh, and I think all it does is take us to a page where I have to now start the video. Here we go. Yep.
Do you spend a lot of time working on your computer? I know I do. The last thing I want to do is spend time scrolling through a long list of apps to find the one that I need. Most of us have a go-to set of apps that we use daily. For students, this might be Word or PowerPoint. For professionals, it might be Outlook, Excel, maybe even Skype. What's important is that you find the tools that you need fast. Windows makes it easy to personalize your computer so you can access the apps that you need quickly. When you turn on your computer for the first time, it comes with a default set of apps in the Start menu and along the taskbar. You can add the apps you use most often so they're easier to find. To do that, click on the Windows Start button on the taskbar. You'll see the Start menu on the right and the apps list on the left. Scroll down through the apps list until you find an app that you want to add to the Start menu. Right-click on that app and click Pin to Start. This adds the app to the Start menu so you don't need to keep scrolling through the list of apps every time you want to launch the app. Do you have apps you use all the time? You can add them to your taskbar for easy one-click access. When you right-click on the app from the apps list, click on More, then click on Pin to Taskbar. And just like that, your app appears on the taskbar. If there are apps you don't often use, it's just as easy to remove them from the Start menu. All you need to do is right-click on the app tile and select Unpin from Start. To remove an app from the taskbar, right-click on the app on the taskbar and select Unpin from Taskbar. There you have it. Adding your most popular apps to the Start menu and taskbar keeps them right at your fingertips. In a future video, we'll take a look at how to organize the Start menu and taskbar to make it even easier for you to get to your apps. Thanks for watching.
As you can see, there are several videos here. Customize the taskbar, organize the Start menu, and right-click. So, and that's just on this page. If you go to the next page, there is an explanation of your Start menu. Let's take a look at mine. It's here. Now, one of the things they mentioned in one of the videos, and I may use some of these next month and do a real thorough investigation of some of the things that you may not know about Windows, but you can make this bigger. Or you can make it smaller. Depends upon your use. So I like it about like this, and I like it about like this. Now, you'll notice on some of these, like here, this is called a live tile, or this one. You should see them updating. Of course, none of them are updating right now, but yeah, there it just changed here in my mail. It just shows a different email message and another one. Here's the photos are changing now. Those are called live tiles. You can turn that off by right mouse clicking. Okay. There we go. And you can tell it more, and you can turn the live tile off. So some of these may not be turned on, but they are alive. They could be a live tile. Other ones not. Now, also, you'll see that this is big. One of the things you can do is you can resize to small, medium, wide, and large. This is the large. If I wanted just wide, it would look like this. And then if I make it either medium or small, I don't believe you get it. It's not a live. Oh, yeah, it is a live tile. They don't show as much information. And then as a small, that only will show the temperature. So you can set it to whatever size you want. I'm going to leave it large, and you can move these around. So, and then let's say I don't use Paint ID. I don't need it on here. So I'm going to say unpin from the start. It's gone. If I want to move the Microsoft Store over here, I can. If I want to move it, say down here, I can move it down here. So you can move these things, click and drag, and move them wherever you want. So you can make these in the order that you want them to be. Now I keep all my Office ones together. I keep, and you can group them and give it a name as well. So if you click here, you can actually change that to Office. This one is Create. So you can change them to whatever label you want as well. This doesn't have it. So this is the Solitaire collection, the old Internet Explorer I've got on here, my e-wallet, my OmniPage Ultimate, and so on. These items, and this is my iTunes. So you can have whatever you want. So if I wanted to have, let's say, Acrobat Adobe, this isn't the reader, this is the actual program. If I right mouse click that, I can say pin to start, and it's now here, and I can move it up. Let's say we'll put it here. And so now it's there. When I click on it, it'll actually open it up. Now I can also, if I wanted to, that Adobe Acrobat, if I wanted to right mouse click, and then under more, I can pin it to the taskbar, and it will show up down here. And if I no longer want it down there, I can say unpin from the taskbar, and it goes away. So these are things that you can do with your Windows to make it easier to work. You don't have to have it the way it comes. And a lot of you probably don't even use that start menu. I do, because sometimes it's easier than scrolling down through all of your programs. You can see I got a lot installed on my computer. So it takes me a while. Now, there is another quick way, and I've mentioned this, I believe, at some of these meetings, and some of you picked up on it. But let's say, let's go ahead and close it. And then I open and I want to find something under Windows. I just click the letter A, and it gives me a dial. And then I just say, okay, hit W, and bingo, now it takes me right down to the W's. So if nothing else, and you didn't know how to do this, it was worth your hour or so that you're going to spend with me today to learn how to do that to save you time. Again, so if we're at the W and we want to go back to the top, I just say, okay, let's go to A, and I'm back at the A's. So it's about 2:30, and I've covered a lot, and there might be some questions, so I'm going to minimize, let's see, in case we want to come back and look at some more of these videos, I'll minimize those two, and let's go ahead and maximize this, and I'm going to then bring up this and my chat box. Okay, see if there's any questions. Dick, any questions from the floor there? And some of these things I covered or anything else?
Any questions? Pretty quiet crowd.
Oh, well, that's too bad.
Oh, wait a minute, it stands here.
The virtual conference that was held yesterday, when do you think those will be available on their website? Do you have any idea?
It usually, they have to do a lot of editing, and it says all volunteers, so it usually takes a few weeks. The PDFs to all of them are already posted.
They are?
Yes.
That was very worthwhile. If any of the people attending this session have not signed up for or participated in one of the APCUG sessions, they are really worthwhile, and I recommend that they consider doing that.
And all of them
Dewey,
are. Go ahead.
Can you tell them how to sign up if they have not signed up before?
Well, I certainly can. Let's go back to, I'll show you a couple of things where you can go back and look at some older ones as well. Let's see. I think this is Edge. Whoops. Let's, come on. There's a couple of ways. Number one is APCUG, whoops, UG2.org is the website. And they post the latest one here. So if you click here, it'll show you what was yesterday. And you'll see that there's a link to my slides. Ron Brown, who's on here, his slides are here. Jerry Steele talked about genealogy, her slides are there. Dave Dockery, his slides are there. Bill James talked about home automation, his slides are there. And how do you start or push podcast, which is very good. That's the links are there. Now, let's say you want to find a previous. So if you go to member benefit, let's see, virtual technical conference and click on it. Here's 34, 33. We've had 35 of 35 of them now. And let's say last falls, you want to see what was there. You click here. It shows the article, presentation. Well, these were some reviews. Okay, here they are. Ron Brown, that one did Saving Your Life with Technology. His bio, his slides, and then the video. Same thing with Jerry Minich talked about what's new in iOS 13. The video is here and the slides are here. Now, there's an easier way to do that as well, and let's go to one of those by going here. I'm going to stop once it gets there. I just clicked on one. I'll stop it. And it happened to be Ron. Sorry, Ron, I didn't mean to stop you in mid-sentence. But if you go to APCUG videos, that's what I was trying to get to. And instead of searching for it, I'm going to click on APCUG videos. There are, and there's that particular one. There's been 186 views for it. So you can see all of the various presentations, or several of them. Those are the uploads. There should be a complete list of them. Videos. And there they all are. So if you don't have anything to do, here's a way to learn something about computers, and especially if you like coming to the WinSIG or to your user group meeting. You don't have to go to them. You can stay right in your shorts and a t-shirt and either a soda, a beer, or a glass of wine. Sit in your favorite easy chair and watch all about various topics by some great presenters and me. And you can see some of these have had a lot of views, 244, 547. Ron did one on Google Photos. So a lot of these are getting a lot of views on our on the APCUG website. And by all means, avail yourself of what's up there. And Dick, does that help?
Yes, that's a big help, but you can get an invitation to attend these things live. How do you get on the list so that you get an invitation?
Well, your microphone, I think when you hear the recording, you'll hear it. I'm losing some of the words, but I know what you were just asking. So if we go back to APCUG, it may be gone now, but let me check and see. The next one will be, let's see, this was February, it will be May 2nd. They're quarterly, there's 4 a year. When you see the one here, you'll go to it, and there is usually a button, because it's already passed, that it may already be gone. She's already edited, but there'll be a button. Please go to Eventbrite to register, and that's a link. And when you do, Eventbrite will come up, and then the 2020 Winter Virtual Conference, and then you'll click on it. It'll ask for your name, an email address, and then usually the day before the conference, you'll get a link with the to the Zoom of track 1 and another link for track 2, so you can attend one or both, or either one of them. So you might like something from track 1, the first session, and then track 2, the second session. You can switch back and forth between them.
Very good. That's what I was looking for.
So you do have to you do have to sign up for them. And
it looks like that's all the questions we have.
Okay, and I don't see anything online. Any questions? So I think, let me go back to my sign off slide and say this has been the Central Florida Computer Society's WinSIG for Sunday, February 9th, 2020. And thank you for joining, and I am going to end the recording, and then we'll, whoops, I did a stop share, and we need to end the recording.